The Louie Bellina Show, Monday lunchtime. Thank you to Rudy's Barbecue. Now, Monday lunchtime, right about 12 o'clock straight up. You know what we do? We head out on the D4 Land Services hotline. Why? Because we like to hang out with Mitch Light of The Athletic. Mitch! It's the most wonderful time of the year. We can let the madness begin. And, you know, the madness might mean for some the NCAA tournament, and for others, the opening weekend of SEC baseball could qualify for that, too.
Good morning, or good afternoon. It's 12:01.
Good lunch works for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like it rotates. Some years that the SEC opening weekend occurs on the weekend of the SEC basketball tournament or all conference, Selection Sunday weekend. In some years, it's not. When it's happening in the same weekend, it's just like almost sensory overload. There's just too much stuff going on. But yeah, great weekend of sports. Obviously the SEC tournament here in Nashville. I was able to get back Friday, was able to go Saturday and Sunday. It's always a great event, but a lot going on in the sports world.
Let us begin college baseball roundup. For those that don't know, Mitch Light of The Athletic, he's an editor, and he does that all year round. But when the college baseball season comes, he is their college baseball department. He does their college baseball roundup. He handles and manages and does their college baseball top 25. Mitch Light has many passions, college baseball. Is that your number one, or is it still college football? Like your sports passion, rank 1, 2.
It's probably college football still. College baseball. I don't want to call it a niche sport, or however you pronounce that word, because that would be insulting. It's a big deal. It's a big sport. It's probably because it's not as popular, especially at the Athletic. It's kind of like my thing, and I've always liked it. I've been going to games forever, and so it's sort of feels more personal to me, if that makes sense. But college football is amazing as well.
Yeah, they're both pretty beautiful. We'll begin. I think the top story, Texas, USC were the final two undefeated teams in the nation. Correction, there are no more undefeated teams left in the country.
Yeah, it was great because, I don't know, I embedded this tweet in my story too, just how college sports is it that USC is playing Northwestern in a college baseball game and it's snowing. I mean, that just sums up college athletics in the past 3 or 4 years better than anything. And Northwestern with the walk-off, USC won the first 2 games of the series. Northwestern won the next 2, and then the Texas losing Friday night after I think a 17-0 start. They're up 3 runs in the 9th inning with 2 outs. And then Ole Miss hits a grand slam to take a 1-run lead. Texas ties. Ole Miss wins an extra. So both interesting, intriguing games. Obviously, no one's going to go undefeated in college baseball. And this is the time of the year where those teams drop off once you get into conference play. But obviously, still 2 very good teams. Texas not a surprise. USC a surprise. Their starting pitching has been incredible. Now the competition hasn't been great. They played some good teams, but they're starting pitching ERA. They got 2 starters, I believe, with a ERA of under 0.5.
You mentioned the Friday night Texas Ole Miss. That was one of 4 games that either had bottom of the 8, top, or bottom of the 9th. Now, you had 3 sweeps over the weekend in the SEC. Kind of unusual. You don't expect any sweeps. But Friday night, the opening night, had 4 different games that were decided 8th, 9th, or overtime.
Yeah, it was the Vanderbilt LSU game for 2 programs that have won 2 national championships in the past 11 years. Obviously LSU more recently. It was not a very good display of baseball. I think LSU walked 11 guys. Vanderbilt walked 9, had 4 wild pitches in 1 inning. It was really not poorly played, just poorly pitched baseball game. Vanderbilt's up 10-4. LSU takes a 12-10 lead. And Vanderbilt scores 3 in the bottom of the 9th to walk it off on a 2-run home run with 2 outs. So it was an exciting game, but wasn't exactly a classic by any stretch. But then you had, what was the other way? I think Texas.
Texas Ole Miss. Yeah, you had the grand slam, like you said, and
and then the most one of the best games of the weekend under the radar was South Carolina and Florida. South Carolina has a no-hitter, a combined no-hitter, but a no-hitter with 2 outs into the 9th inning in a 0-0 game. I believe it's 0-0. And Florida breaks up the no-hitter and then wins it, I believe, on a sac fly in the bottom of the 10th. So you had, I think, a combined 3 hits in that game. Florida's pitching has been amazing. South Carolina's offense continues to struggle there. So just, a lot going on Friday night. Some poorly played games, some great games, and just drama all over the place.
You mentioned Florida's pitching. They swept South Carolina and only gave up 3 runs in the 3 games.
Yeah, you're going to win a lot when you do that.
Really?
But that's baseball. That's analysis right there. But they're getting really good pitching. Aiden King, sophomore, Saturday starter. Don't believe he's allowed an earned run. Friday they're getting great starting pitching Friday and Saturday. So no surprise. That's one. There's certain things you expect. Florida always has premium arms. There's a few speed bumps in recent years with some guys kind of not delivering as you'd expect, some hyped guys, but so far so good this year from the Gators.
We're talking about all the good, really, but Mississippi State, a lot of teams are going to lose 2 out of 3 at Arkansas, but Mississippi State have been off to a red-hot start, and so was the story maybe Mississippi State wasn't as good as we thought, or is the story Arkansas is Arkansas?
I just think it's hard to win in Fayetteville, and there's no shame in losing 2 out of 3. It would have been an amazing first series for Brian O'Connor to go up to, Fayetteville and win 2 of 3. Arkansas's had its troubles this year. Offensively, they've definitely had some issues. They've lost some games, lost some midweek games. But their starting pitching came through. Just a great series, top 10 matchup. Both teams are in my top 5 this week, I believe. And Brian O'Connor's an interesting. He's a great run at Virginia. And the ACC is very good. I've always said the top of the ACC is good, and there's some good environments to play in. But I think one of the reasons he made the move at this point in his career is to see if he can get it done in the best conference. And he obviously going to a school with an amazing fan base in Mississippi State, but to play at venues, to Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Texas, the places he's going to play as a first-year head coach at Mississippi State is going to be great.
Let's go non-SEC for a second. This is the college baseball roundup around the country. Mitch Light of The Athletic, who joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Georgia Tech has caught your eye.
Yeah, they were, great, very hyped in the preseason, and they've been very, very good. Offensively, their numbers are absurd. They are hitting .393 as a team. .393. Slugging, on-base percentage .511. They lead the nation in runs scored, 254. Second in the nation in slugging. They got 4 guys hitting over .440. And maybe after Rock Chalowski, maybe the shortstop at UCLA, the guy that the offensive player, the second best offensive player entering the season was Drew Burris, who has been great his first 2 years in college. He's batting. He's if you look at their stats, he's 9th on the team in hitting. He's not bad. He's hitting .313 with 5 home runs, but it just tells you how good this offense has been. They're 4-2 in the ACC. The pre-conference schedule was not great. So I think, obviously they're not going to hit .393 as a team, but they are the best team in the ACC and a legit national title contender.
And one more, and this is just because UTSA broke into your top 25. UTSA, they're not there anymore.
Yeah, it's love to reward team, mid-major teams. They all got a great start. We know what they did last year. Got to a super regional loss to UCLA. Lost 2 of 3. They split with Texas Tech during the week and then lost 2 of 3 to UT Arlington. When you're a mid-major in any ranking, any top 25, you got to take care of business against the teams in your league that you need to beat. And again, no shame in splitting at Texas Tech, but losing 2 of 3 UT Arlington, they dropped out of the poll.
So I need to know your opinion on home run bat slamming, because it's a topic of interest in the SEC this weekend.
Yes.
You had the Tennessee player who thought he hit the walk-off against Georgia, but it was caught at the track, and he looked like a moron. And then you had a player ejected in the A&M OU game Friday night for home run bat slamming. And then people were kind of comparing and contrasting it with the World Baseball Classic, where it was celebrated and quite energetic home run bat slamming. So what is your stance on this thing?
Yeah, good question. And while, I'm your age, 50, I think I'm 54. I'm 54. But, I'm not like Mr. Old School and kids nowadays. I kind of preface it to say I don't love it. I like celebrations. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't if I see it, it's that kid, kick him out of the game. he's, just put the bat down and run to the bases. Like, I get why it's fun and all that stuff. Now, to talk about the Tennessee kid, if you're going to do it, Stone Lawless' his name, you better be darn sure the ball goes over the wall. I mean, that goes without saying. You just look ridiculous when you do it.
He's a meme. I think he's a meme now.
Yeah, you got to be. So in the things that bother me in sports and whatever, it's very low on it. The problem with it is the lack of consistency in college baseball in adjudicating it, and some guys getting warned and tossed and all that stuff. So I guess that's what it boils down to. There needs to be consistency, whether it's allowed or not allowed. I'm all in the let these guys have fun, all that stuff. It really bothers me when umpires, like on a home run, the first thing to do is they look to the dugout and tell the guys to move back 5 steps. Don't, how dare you celebrate and stuff like that. But it's, I think it came, you mentioned this weekend, but it kind of, I wouldn't say it started, but it gained a lot of attention in recent years with Tennessee in the Tony Vitello era, and the kind of the way those guys acted, and dating back 2-3 years from their great teams, and it just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and it's become commonplace now. And I get it. You hit a home run, you think it's going to give your team the lead, you're gonna celebrate, but again, you're gonna look like a jerk if the guy catches the ball.
It's so fascinating. So umpires.
Where do you stand on it?
Umpires that tried to warn players like it's too much get called out for ump show when they're actually trying. Right. They're not trying to toss them. They're trying to warn them. You're about to cross the line, man. And you mentioned Tennessee. They do it obnoxiously. They go too far. They took after their head coach who always went too far. I got no trouble with the fiery manager. I got no trouble with the manager that, fights for his team. I have no trouble with him, but Vitello was always too much. You know what? And he parlayed it in MLB jobs. So maybe I'm the idiot in the story. He made money on it. What can I say? Bravo, well played by him. But everything Tennessee under Vitello was no, not like that though, to me. So, and that bat thing, like the Tennessee player, Georgia, I mean, you've seen the highlight. It's been replayed 20 times. Sure. It's just annoying as hell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just obnoxious.
People are having more fun with it because it's Tennessee.
And because it was caught.
Yeah. It's just so. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. And a lot of times umpires, we get mad at umpires, and they're just following the rules. Like there could be the SEC could get, or whatever league get together. Hey, we've got to cut down on this, or for whatever reason. And if they are the ones warning and kicking people out, we get mad at the umpire when again they could be doing their job. So it's not, no one's getting hurt. It's, obviously as long as the bat doesn't get flung towards the dugout, no one's getting hurt and all that stuff. But it's become part of the college game the past 5 years.
I do like the fun. I do like watching teams get excited. There's always someone that's going to go too far, and that's why the umps have to be allowed to regulate it to some point. But then you have bad umps, just like you have good umps, and the bad umps are going to be hypersensitive, and they're going to screw it up too. And there's good and bad with everything. I want the energy, man. I want the excitement. I just don't want Tennessee.
I think that's a sentiment that a lot of people around the SEC share.
Nobody wants Tennessee. Nobody wants Tennessee. Also, I'm going to keep it simple, too. When that bat is slammed, which side you slam the bat on is a pretty big deal, too. You better always slam the bat on your side, on your home side dugout.
Yeah, and that's kind of a, not collateral damage, but like if you are a right-handed hitter and running down, well, I guess it doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. If the other team's dugout is on the first base side, it's going to look like you are slamming the bat sort of at them, especially if you're righty and you're kind of facing that way as you come out of the batter's box. So there's it's not intent, it just looks that way. Because if the dugouts are reversed, like what are you supposed to do? Take a step back towards third base and slam it and then run? You can't do that. When you hit the ball, you got to run unless you go for it, unless you know you hit the ball like 700 feet.
Carry the bat till you round third. No, don't do that. Never mind. Don't go for that.
You're definitely going to get tossed if you do that.
Maybe don't slam the. Never mind. Mitch, let's grab a quick timeout. Come back. Look at your the Athletic College Baseball Top 25, and we got to talk brackets, bro.
I'm ready.
Mitch Light of the Athletic on the D4 Land Services Hotline. It is an every Monday thing here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. D4 Land Services. They want to help you with your land. Get it cleared, excavated, fixed up. And if you go to d4landservices.com, you can check out everything they can do for you. d4landservices.com. I'll be back 3 minutes, 48 seconds. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Monday on The Zone.
Like The Zone on Facebook, and you stay in touch with the community calendar, community spotlight, and game updates.
Let's go!
Like The Zone on Facebook, Zone 1150.
The Louie Bellina Show. It's Monday. Louie Bellina Show, hanging out with Mitch Light of The Athletic on the D4 Land Services Hotline. Mitch, let's take a look at your top 25. 3 teams debuted in the top 25, and the highest, debuting team is Kentucky, who had a 4-0 week. 18-2 is their record, and they're the number 18 team in the country now.
Yeah, I probably should have had them in the top 25 previous weeks. I think they were in some other polls, and they got off to a great start, hadn't really played a tough schedule, so, whatever. They swept Alabama, and it was at home, but you sweep an SEC opponent at home or anywhere, it's a good week. So definitely thought they deserved to be in there. Tyler Bell, their All-American shortstop who got hurt earlier in the year, thought it might be season ending. He's come back. Don't think he's playing the field yet, but he's been hitting. So it's been a big boost. So, Kentucky's off to a really good start.
That's what I told everyone when we got off the air last week, because, man, he should have had Kentucky ranked. So, yeah, I agree with that.
You know what? I wasn't on the air last week. I was out of town, so you're lying.
No. I went ahead and used it, the top 25 that you released later that day, allegedly when you were in Spain. So
I did. I was at a park in Spain on my laptop working on college. I was probably the only person in Europe last week working on a college baseball top 25. I can comfortably say that.
I know when I saw it get released, I'm like, wait a minute. He's in Spain. How did he do that? And I thought that was entertainment. Oregon entered 5-0 week, busy week. They're now 17-3. Oregon's your number 24 team.
Yeah, just kind of been hanging around. Obviously, 17-3 got up to a good start. They played a tournament in Vegas 2 weeks ago, went 2-1 there. They were kind of a product of some teams, LSU, Wake Forest, and UTSA falling out. I've been looking at them in recent weeks, and you'll get to them in a second. But Arizona State, same thing. Arizona State takes 2 of 3 from TCU, 14-5. They played a pretty good schedule. They went and played that tournament a couple weeks ago in Arlington there. So. TCU had been ranked in other polls. They weren't ranked in mine, but good team and took 2 of 3. So I was going to say Oregon and Arizona State, 2 Pac-12 teams sneaking in, but Oregon's in the Big Ten and Arizona State's the Big 12.
Dude, I've had to go through that in my head so many times. And something that brought home the fact of how conference realignment has shuffled things was looking at Lenardi's bracketology. And at one point, A&M was going to play 2 Pac-12 schools that are not in the Pac-12 anymore. And that's why I had to do timeout. That's a Big 12, Big 10 path for A&M. That's not Pac-12, Pac-12 anymore.
Yep, and it's, we try to, obviously we know what leagues these teams are in, but especially when you're doing college baseball and you see Oregon, you see Arizona State, you're thinking Pac-12. And, it's one of these days we'll get used to it.
Yeah, who knows when, but the Pac-12 was always iconic to me. They played the funnest brand of football for a couple of decades. I didn't say best, but, 51-48 on a late, Pac-12 after dark. I was always down for that.
It just made so much sense. It's just that to have a major conference with these huge state universities in the West Coast, and we had to go screw it up.
Well, they hired the wrong man at the wrong time. I think it was that straightforward. They hired a visionary commissioner, and they didn't know when to pull the plug on him, and he led them to their demise.
Not incorrect at all.
Thank you. First time Mitch has ever said that. We've been hanging out 25 years. Mitch has never said that before. Before I'll let you roll here, a couple other things. Top of the order, the only thing that shuffled out of your top 5 is Mississippi State, who we mentioned lost 2 out of 3 at Arkansas. No shame, dropped from 3 to 6. Brackets, NCAA tournament. March Madness is upon us. That Vanderbilt run in the NCAA tournament was awesome to watch, bro.
SEC tournament, but yes, it was. It was just good basketball. It was funny. I was on a flight to the Tennessee Vanderbilt game, so I didn't see that. But I was at the Florida game the next day, and we all know how good Florida is, and they're rebounding. This is an amazing stat. Florida grabbed 63% of its own misses and lost by 15 points. Like that's that's hard to do. But yeah, Vanderbilt played great against Florida, and I thought played really well yesterday. I don't know how much of the game you saw, but played. Arkansas played great, 15 of 24 from three. I've been to a lot of SEC tournament games over the years, but I usually don't go to the finals just because it's Selection Sunday and I got work stuff. But I went this year, and the SEC does a great job just making it a big-time event. Like, they just turn everything up from, like, Saturday to Sunday. It was just great crowd. Everything about it was great. And I have seen pretty much every SEC basketball player in the past 30 years, and I've always said that Chris Jackson is the best college guard. Going back to LSU's Chris Jackson, is the best college guard I've ever seen in person. Arkansas's Darius Acuff is on the very, very short list. That guy is incredible. And he's, they're a 4 seed. See how far Arkansas can go, but they're going to have the best player on the court every game. The guy's incredible.
Do you think Florida can win it again, defend their title?
No. I think we saw some of their flaws in the Vanderbilt game, and their guards. Boogie Fland is really good. Zabin Lee's quick and all that. They just can't shoot enough. They're just too inconsistent from the outside. And you got to Vanderbilt did a good job matching their physicality. And Jim Root, who does some freelancing for The Athletic, hosts a podcast, The Three Man Weave. Don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a really good podcast. But he's made a point all year, which I think, and you watch SEC hoops, see if you agree with this. His theory is that Florida has been, while very good, has been overvalued this year during this last maybe 6 to 8 weeks because the SEC is not a very physical conference this year as far as like big front lines. Like Tennessee is really the only team that can match them for size. So Florida kind of bullies people in the SEC, whereas in the NCAA tournament, they might be more likely to face a team that can expose some of their flaws and match their strengths. So that's a theory that I've kind of agreed with, and just watching their guards struggle against Vanderbilt, it kind of, I realized that, hey, it's going to be tough for this team to win 6 straight games.
Well, let me ask you this. You look at their half of the bracket, I'm sure you have. Do you think Houston, or maybe later an injured Duke, and who's the two over there, UConn, do you think those are the teams to bully them?
I mean, Houston doesn't have tremendous size, but they're very physical, and they can get up in the.
But they don't like to score.
Yeah, but they can make the life difficult for the Florida's guards too. They can be really physical with their guards. But yeah, I'm looking. Illinois at the bottom of that bracket is more of a much. They've got some big guys, but those guys pick and pop. They're more of a finesse team. So yeah, you got. I would say from a style of play, it's probably a pretty good draw for Florida. They could be. It's interesting. It's like all the psychology of sports. They could be facing a Vanderbilt team in the Sweet 16 if Vanderbilt can get there. Say, okay, well, they'll have revenge. There's no way they're going to let them happen again. But then you can also say, hey, they just lost them by 15 points a week ago. So, like, maybe is that a good matchup or a bad matchup? I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm sure Florida would be ready to play there. But, yeah, it's just you got to make life difficult for their guards, and you cannot let their guards – because if they get – Zabin Lee, when he's loose and when he's open, he can shoot. Boogie Flan really can't shoot under most circumstances, but you just got to make their guards uncomfortable.
Give me 2 teams that are going to win it all.
Only Louie. I don't know if you know how sports works, but only one team can win it all.
I know, but you know what? It's Monday, and people pick 20 brackets, and you start reading everything and doing your analytics, and you narrow it down to one later. So I'm being generous today. Give me 2 teams that are going to win it all.
Arizona. Arizona's my pick right now.
Oh,
my dark horse, Virginia.
Okay, see, I was going to ask you for a dark horse after. I was going to give you that option later. You know what's interesting? I thought all of a week ago that the chalky chalks were chalkier than chalk, but now Michigan has an injury. Duke has an injury. A lot of teams got banged up over the past 2 weeks to cast doubt on the chalks.
Yeah, which I hate it for the guys, but it's good for, like, in sports, we don't want, like, the inevitable. Like, it's just no fun, going in, say, if Duke or someone's winning every game by 30 points. Like, you thought Duke was inevitable last year, and then they didn't win it. So, obviously, they got to play it on the court. But, like, Arizona right now is going to be very popular. I just picked them. It's going to be a very popular pick. But I'm, like, with you. Like, at times this year, Michigan's looked inevitable. At times this year, Duke has looked inevitable. Arizona's probably been the most consistent of the really good teams this year.
I agree with that statement. And I don't know why. It's not an anti-Big 12 thing. I like the new Big 12. There's no Texas OU in it. It's very clean. It's very easy to root for this version of the Big. No, there's still Texas Tech. I take it all back. And Baylor. Never mind. I didn't say anything out loud. Mitch Light of The Athletic joining us on the D4 Land Services hotline. I keep looking for a mid, and like Nebraska, they're choke-a-thon. I can't find a 3-4 I think could dream and make it all.
Well, Virginia was mine. They're a 3. They would be paired up against Tennessee in a 3-6, Iowa State in a 2-3. I just think Ryan Odom's a really good coach, and they took Duke to the wire in the ACC championship game. They can score. Like, this is not Virginia from years past where they win games 43-41. I think they're really talented. And, yeah, they would be my – you know what? I also have Illinois going to the Final Four, which I probably contradict everything I just said earlier because I didn't want to – I had to pick them for work earlier. We had to fill out some brackets. You know how it is. And you just, I'll just keep moving teams along. And I like watching Illinois play. So my bracket that I filled out today, I had 2 number 1s and 2 number 3s.
My understanding of this field of 64 is the last spot, the dead last spot, was a choice between Auburn and Miami of Ohio. Who would you have put in?
Well, the committee said Miami of Ohio was not the last team in. It's
oh,
just
did they?
Yeah. Even though they're in the first 4, they were not the last team in. There's a rationale behind how they got seated there. I was in the anti-Auburn camp, and I'm a, you know, I like the SEC. I'm a major conference snob, I guess you'd say. I understand their arguments, their schedule, and all that, but it just comes down to if you're going to schedule like that, you got to win enough games, and you can't lose to Ole Miss at home down the stretch. And I know Ole Miss played well in the tournament, all that stuff, but you know you can use that great schedule to your advantage if you have 13 losses and get a higher seed than maybe based on your schedule strength. But if you're going to lose that many games and be 1 or 2, whatever, 1 or 2 games over 500, I was totally fine with them not being included in the tournament. I was pro Miami getting in, mostly because if they didn't get in, I didn't want to hear it for all the discourse for a week, people complaining about it. I think I could be wrong here, but I think most people think they should be in. But then everyone's saying they shouldn't be in. Like, who are these people? Like, you could find someone on social media to argue any point you want. Like,
True.
I just think most people think it's a good story and they should be in.
Well, you've got the people that I could say water is wet, and there's going to be the one guy who goes, well, actually, there's a water molecule that exists on the planet Mercurius that once every million years is not wet. So that statement's not true, Mr. Bellina. And you just want to punch him in the face.
Exactly.
So,
and like there's, it's I think SMU is going to beat them. I don't, Miami, they flirted with disaster too many times. They won so many close games and they finally lost. I think SMU is going to beat them. It doesn't take anything away from their accomplishments and all that. And you go perfect in the regular season. You deserve to be in the NCAA tournament.
Mitch, go be awesome. Thank you always. Is there a series SEC offhand you're looking forward to this weekend baseball?
I just got back in the country. I managed to do 2 college baseball stories and watch a lot of college basketball. I couldn't tell you who anybody's playing this week, but thanks for the question.
Fair enough, brother. Go be epic. I'll talk to you next Monday.
Okay, see you, bud.
Later. Mitch Light of The Athletic on the D4 Land Services hotline. Always phenomenal to hang out. Always phenomenal to check in with them. D4 Land Services. If you're looking for forestry mulching, pond construction, metal building, like a custom metal building from the ground up, go check out d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. This is the Louie Bellina Show, Monday on The Zone.
Your home for the Houston Astros is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show, Monday, presented by CC Electric. You know, at CC Electric, they do residential, commercial, industrial services. That is CC Electric. Halftime, we've reached 12:37. We're out. Peace out at 2 o'clock. Paul Feinbaum Show, presented by Polaris Fun Center. 4 o'clock, Chip Howard Sports Talk. He's got the Writers Roundtable with Rusty and Cease, and then it's ESPN Radio tonight, 6 to 7 o'clock. The ticket booth, I should make that creaking sound like a door's opening, but I don't do sounds really well, so that would be a waste of time. The ticket booth, thanks to Dixie Tire Company, is opening, and it'll be open till 1 37. It's opening for 60 minutes exactly. Here's how it works. You can text me about anything and everything, and you'll be registered. And what's inside the ticket booth? Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. A pair of 2-day passes to Chili Fest. The Zone and Brian Broadcasting, we're partners with Chili Fest. And every day this week, I'm going to give away a pair of tickets to Chili Fest. 2-day passes. Listen in each day and, caller 5, text, who knows? I don't even know. And like the show's named after me. So from now till 1:37, text. I'll blind draw later on and text now. Yeah. 979-693-1150. Must be 21 and over. Must be prize contest eligible. And if you ever wonder what those prize rules are, go to zone1150.com, zone1150.com, and text questions, comments, opinions, wine, whiskey, beer, TV, movie, streaming, Aggie football, Aggie basketball, Aggie baseball, don't matter. Participation will be rewarded. And the ticket booth on the Louie Bellina Show is thanks to Dixie Tire Company. They fix flats. They do tire and wheel rotations. They carry a wide selection of certain brands of custom wheels. Dixie Tire Company's family owned. They're your authorized Mastercraft and Cooper tire dealer. It's Dixie Tire Company. Text away. Good luck. And by the way, a couple of text messages for you from our boy Gabriel Garcia from the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Jim and Temple, Aggie Scouting Report, because I did ask people to help me with the Aggie Scouting Report as opposed to like Jay Billis and others. And here's what Jim and Temple said. Aggie Scouting Report, shoot 3 balls well early, like against Mizzou. Pick them up full court, 40 minutes. Speed them up, tire their bigs out. That's from Jim and Temple. I'm going to say something so obvious that it hurts me to say this out loud, but it would behoove Aggie basketball to just not fall behind for once. They've fallen behind and won. They've fallen behind and lost. But how about we try let's not fall behind 13-15 and talk about what an incredible comeback win or what a painful loss. How about, man, I just take Tide for 20 straight minutes and then coming out at the half against St. Mary's. It would be nice to not struggle bus for 40 minutes to either win or lose at the end. But recently, Aggie Hoops, Buckyball has been coming out cold. I mean, clank, cold. No defensive stops, not making buckets, and just trailing early, trailing big generally too early, and spending the rest of the game needing the 27-11 run or getting beat. Very simple concepts here, I know. So I would say a key is just don't get down early, please. I mean, if you're going to get down, make it plus or minus 4, or, you're going back and forth, then it just takes some of the pressure, stress off, man. It's the NCAA, tournament. It's March Madness. Feel comfortable. Again, as opposed to chase. Or I feel like when you're at that position where you're getting down consistently, it gives you a here we go again feel. Whether you want it or not, it's in the back of your head. It creeps into you. And even if it's one player that gets it, that's one player too many. So as opposed to deja vuing it, let's get again, I'm not even being greedy. Let's get up by 30 and win would be optimal, but play it even, be up 6, just quit trailing high double digits. A couple more text messages. Noah, Louie, is last weekend not winning the series for Aggie baseball going to hurt them going to the regional, or is it too early this season? And did you watch the Oscars last night? It's way too early. I'm going to talk about the series 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock straight up, Aggie baseball. 1:20 the rest of the world of sports. 1:35 Aggie basketball. Listen in, AG and Rylan Griffin. That's our final hour together. And no, it's way too early. That OU series was fascinating. Might seem like a weird word choice for you, but fascinating to me on so many levels. You go on the road, top 10 team, could have won all three, should have won the series, but you didn't. Game 3, due to weather, didn't feel like a real baseball game. Losing Friday night, should never have lost it. Should have won the series, could have won all three, didn't. So it's a mix of emotions. We'll talk about it 1 o'clock. Did I watch the Oscars last night? No. I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore. Hollywood making movies for themselves. Well, I'm not Hollywood, so I've kind of been shut out. TV, movie, streaming being so split, I don't want to buy 10 services to watch the best of. Most streaming's doing the 3 years and out thing, but yet not writing it, knowing they're only going to do 3 seasons. So they don't wrap up anything, just pisses me off and doesn't let me invest in streaming shows. I'll tell you what, I loved Alice in Borderlands, the first 2 seasons. What they did with season 3 is a crime against television humanity. Oh, that was their season 3. Like, did they go, we know this is our last season? It didn't have to be, but of course it wasn't renewed. And they decided that's how to end it, is a crime. Just because 1 and 2, so gritty and raw and not seen before. And then 3 was, I don't even know what it was. It was so horrific. No, I did not watch the Oscars. Rob Tex said, Lou, it is windy and cold on the farm today. Animals don't take days off. Happy early St. Patty's Day. Rob, thank you very much, brother. The farmers, the people that work the farm. There's no such thing as holiday and there's no such thing as days off. Amen to you, brother. I celebrated St. Patrick's Day. Saturday, I went out to O'Bannon's briefly, said hi to some friends. My boys at Candy 95, Ted, Ryan, Michael, they were out there because Candy 95 was hosting a St. Pat's. And I went, oh, Yolanda, Dale, the gang, Brian Broadcasting were out there. And I wanted to say hi. So I was out there briefly. Now, yesterday was my St. Patrick's Day because the Blackguards play. And I run into the same people every year, and it makes me smile when I see them. And the Blackguards, how do I say this? Traditional Irish rock and covers done like more of a heavy rock style. And, I go to O'Bannon's, have a Guinness. They sell a lot of Guinness there. Know the owner there, Chris Steele, great dude, knows his beer. Again, run into people I know. Ran into Lizzie, who works here in our publishing department. That's my St. Patty's Day. I had a great time. So I celebrated yesterday. Ryan in Brenham, scouting report. Get Hill and AG going in the paint. Press the bleep out of St. Mary's. And we got to have Ruben, Ryland, or Zach or Pop go off, jump on them by 10 or 12 early. All right. And again, if anybody wants to shoot over your Buckyball scouting report, here's the thing. It's not just how to beat St. Mary's, which if you want to do it. But Jay Billis was doing a scouting report, and I went, wait a minute. We watch every game just about. We know them better than Jay Billis does. Don't get me wrong. Even though if Jay Billis sat down for one day with tape, he would know them better than us. I'm not doubting Jay Billis, not trying to insult, but what's your Buckyball scouting report? And for the St. Mary's game, stop digging holes deep. In general, they got to hit threes because, well, it's a lot of points. Wow, Lou, that's deep. But no, he just kind of unlocks everything else. And made baskets allows them to actually play D. I know they press after makes or misses, but made baskets allow them to do more. And then Vic P. Lewis. Oh, can't do that. I'm Louie. Oh, he corrected it. Dude, Vic, talk about on your game. Bourbon or scotch or neither. Scotch. But don't get me wrong, I don't discriminate necessarily. A great drink is a great drink. I'm not one of those who turns his nose up and goes all exclusive and stuff. So, scotch, but, I'm willing to try. I'm flexible. When we return, we'll wrap up the lunch hour of the Louie Bellina Show. Lunchtime, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. You've got another 30 plus 10 plus 3. Oh, I can't do that kind of math. Stop it. But you have until that much time to text and get yourself registered to win a pair of 2-day tickets to Chili Fest. This is the Louie Bellina Show. I'll be back 3 minutes and change on The Zone Monday.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Don't ask unless you want the truth, because
you can't handle the truth.
Weekdays, 11 to 2 on The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. I'm going to go back to the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox. People are texting, going all around, the world. It's kind of fun. The Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, community. That's CC Electric. We've got Terry Fighting Crime says, Lou, my man, St. Patty's Day, awesome. Please do not drink the green beer. No, I tend to not. Look, I think hating on green beer is a little bit overrated. The green doesn't actually bring flavor to the beer. And if you're drinking a Mick Ultra or a light beer, any of the domestics, it does not interfere with a beer that has no flavor because it has no flavor. So, I don't think that's a big deal. Skip and Brian says, Diamond Sports are just frustrating right now. Lots of time for improvement. Skip and Brian, I don't think that's accurate. Aggie softball has played games 1 and 2. Tonight they wrap up the series with game 3. Aggie softball is going for a sweep on the road in Baton Rouge. It's the first time they've ever won a series in Baton Rouge, and they're going for a sweep. Maya Perez has went medieval. Yesterday, they won the series with the 3-2 dub, and she had all 3 RBIs, went yard. In the game 1 on Saturday, she went yard. Aggie pitching has been phenomenal. There seems to be some kind of... some of the players went spring breaking when they were not supposed to be. There were some suspensions for the first game, but SEC play, they're 2-0 going for the sweep in Baton Rouge. I don't know where this Aggie softball team is going to end up, but teams that are 17-18 in the country, which in the SEC might mean you're 6th, 7th in the league. These are the series you have to win. Kentucky next week. Kentucky, I think, is unranked. I haven't checked. I take it back. I don't know. But you have to win these, and that'll be at home because of Texas, OU, and Tennessee. These are the series you have to win. And they went on the road and won a series you need to win because of the challenges ahead. And then for baseball, going to talk 1 o'clock. Frustrating. They should have won the series. I think that's an obvious statement. Should have won Friday night. Sunday was a clown show. And that's not a reference or referendum on Aggie, but the wind, the weather, don't even know that game should have been played. I don't know if they should have doubleheadered Saturday. That I always felt like that wasn't a normal, real baseball game, but both teams played in the same weather. That is a reality check, but I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I like to throw this out to everybody then. Are you currently frustrated? And it's by the Diamond Sports plural, because I'm not there yet. If I needed a word, I'm fascinated. Yeah, there you go. That's my word choice. I'm more fascinated than frustrated currently. We have a text message from, let's see, who's the name? Leo texted me like 3 paragraphs. So Leo, I'm going to fast forward to the answer. And okay, I will look up some suggestions and actually text you back through like the show account where you just texted me here, the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. And for everyone listening, I'm not going to leave you out of the conversation. He loves reading. He's having trouble finding sports books to read. Leo, I will find you sports books. I'll send you 3 recommendations, okay? So I'll be more than happy to help you with that. And Carlos Bertle texted, and again, the theme of the day, your keys to buckyball success. It's not just the keys to beating St. Mary's, because buckyball key is the key to beating anyone. It's not just St. Mary's. I mean, that's been my theme of the day since, hour 1, since earlier in the day, since we cranked things up, since, 10 seed, Oklahoma City, Thursday night, 6 o'clock broadcast start over on News Talk 1620, 94.5 WTAW, and you can listen at radioagland.com. Let's go. I'm not going to do the full Brady scream, even though inside I've been screaming since they beat LSU, knowing that they locked up the spot. I wanted to be a part, and I as a fan, I didn't get on the court. Bucky wouldn't put me in, but I just wanted to be a part. I wanted to see, witness, experience absolute, true, undeniable greatness. And that's what Bucky did. I wanted to see something that's legendary, something that was a low single digit probability, possibility. I wanted to see my coach of the year, and that's what Bucky did. And that's why, if you've been here every day, Tuesdays, Logan Lee tomorrow, 11:20, that's why you saw me rooting so hard. That's why you heard me get frustrated when they went on the losing streak, because I wanted to see this. and mission accomplished. Everything from here is gravy. Beat the hell out of St. Mary's. Bring on the Cougs. Let's go. Oklahoma City, right down the road. I want to see that maroon and white, a maroon and white out in OKC. But he did it. Bucky, him and the players, they did it. What an incredible story. When we return, let's talk Aggie baseball at 1 o'clock, rest of the world of sports at 1:20, and a listen-in with AG and Ryland at 1:35.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, Brutus, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone.